good teaching, just be careful. Watch your doctrine closely. Watch what you're getting into and what you're listening to. And there's an attitude that came about. Dr. Francis Schaeffer quotes, I think he coined the phrase actually, evangelical existentialism. What it means is people say, oh well, you don't have to understand it. It's not all about knowledge. Just believe. That's all you need. As if you don't have to actually explain or understand what you're believing. Well, the Bible never taught that. You know, Peter says that we must be ready to give an answer for the hope which is in us. If somebody says, oh, you're a Christian, why is that? How do you know you're saved? Say, oh, I just believe and that's good enough for me. I don't really understand any of it. No, we should be able to understand what we believe. You know, this is why we've got some of those CDs there on assurance and redemption. These are fundamental basics of being a Christian. You need to understand these things. And they're actually quite rarely taught in churches these days. We've got to understand these things so that we will not be taken in by false doctrine, bad teaching. And you know, when you go into a bank and they try and pass off some notes as forgeries, the bank are very good at telling the real thing from a forgery, from a counterfeit. And that's because the people in the bank, they don't give them all the forgeries and all the counterfeits and say, right, have a really good look at those so that you'll be able to spot them if you see one. They don't do that. What they do is they give them the genuine one, and they spend their time looking at that and studying it and looking at every kind of nuance, the colour of it, the shape of the lines on the note, and everything until they completely familiarise themselves with that note. So as soon as they look at it, say, ah, yeah, that's a genuine one. I recognise it. I can tell. So that when a fake one comes in, they can spot it straight away. And that's what we have to do, is familiarise ourselves with the Word of God, with the Bible, until we know it inside out, until we know it so well that if someone comes along with a doctrine that isn't in the Bible, we can say, wait a minute, this isn't right, this can't stand up. And that's how we spot a fake or a forgery, is that we know the Word of God, that we learn it. And that's why I say to all young Christians, you know, there are lots of books out there you can read, lots of sermons you can listen to and so on, but really I would encourage any young person, first of all, start at the Word of God. You know, read it again until you understand it. Old Testament, New Testament, just thoroughly soak yourself in the Word of God until you really understand it. I'm not saying don't read any of the books, but what I'm saying is this is where you really need to start, is with the Word of God. The more you familiarise yourself with that, the less likely you are if someone says, oh, here's a really good book, do you want to read this? Or here's a really good link, I'll send it to you. Just be cautious. Familiarise yourself with the Word of God, then you can tell, is it right or is it wrong?